Chris Zaffoid Karabats here with Smart Talk Radio. I'm here after a long absence to talk about the version 1.3 updates that we're hard at work on. A few big changes coming in 1.3 that I am excited to talk about. I know there's been a lot of chatter about what's going on, and well, we had a big change of direction as we were about to release a few months ago and thought that we would make some additional changes so we wouldn't have to do multiple hard forks this year. So I wanted to cover a couple of the big ones before it got too much further down the line. First one is, of course, a minor one. We're changing the block size up to 8 meg blocks. This will allow us to have a far higher transmission per second rate. And already we have a pretty good transaction per second rate, and this should increase it even further with some of the back-end improvements that we've made. And I can't wait to get that one out and test some big blocks, because I like big blocks and I cannot lie. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said that, but I couldn't resist. We have some big changes to the block rewards. The biggest change is that Smart Rewards, we're targeting 60% of the blocks going to Smart Rewards. This is reward simply for holding. We have some other changes to Smart Rewards coming that I'll detail in a second, but a big change here, we want to have more of a staking reward system going on, even though it's not technically staking. This allows you to lock in transactions and get a percentage of the block rewards just for holding SmartCash. Now, we're actually going to have a tiered reward system that will give you a higher percentage of the block rewards the longer you hold. We're under 2 months is the base multiplier, and then it goes up where if you're holding it for 2 to 4 months, it's 2 times the base, 4 to 6 months is 4 times the base, and over 6 months is 6 times the base. So the hope is that people will want to hold SmartCash for longer and that they'll be rewarded for that. The rewards will be paid out every 7 days now instead of monthly like before, and as usual, every outgoing transaction will disqualify that address. Now, related to that, speaking of disqualification, is you need to do a qualifying transaction to get Smart Rewards in the future. This is going to be entirely an opt-in process. And there'll be a couple different ways to do that. But one of the ways that we're adding is the ability to do that simply by sending a transaction from one input to one output back within the same address. This will allow you from any wallet to easily opt in, be it from your SmartCash wallet or your Edge wallet or even a hardware wallet like the Elapal here. You'll be able to opt in easily from any wallet, so you don't need to use any proprietary things, and these wallet vendors won't have to do any additional work to support the Smart Reward system, which we thought was a pretty big win there. So, as I said, Smart Rewards will be getting 60% of the block reward in the next version. There's going to be a tiered system from under 2 months to over 6 months, and it'll be an opt-in transaction required. We're also upping the minimal amount of Smart required from 1,000 to 10,000 just to simplify the process for everyone, and we hope that that will inspire people to hold a bit more and be rewarded for being part of the SmartCash network and community. Tied in with that is, of course, that smart nodes will no longer get Smart Rewards. The smart nodes will continue to get their 10%, and Smart Rewards will be completely separate from that. So there'll be different incentives going to different parts of the network with less overlap. Also, there'll be, to tie in with this, there'll be the ability to lock transactions, so you won't be able to accidentally send a transaction no matter how much you try. So if you want to lock a transaction in for 6 months to get all those Smart Rewards, you'll be able to do that in your activation. So we think that'll make life a little bit easier for people and help some people set up some pretty interesting systems to continue to get Smart Rewards for a long period of time. And of course, any funds added to addresses will be activated based on the time they're added, not necessarily, you can't add and then get 6 months rewards for adding just a month ago. It's all based on when the input is activated. It'll all make sense when you see the update come out, and we hope we'll be able to answer any questions. And it will, of course, be quite simple through our web wallet and our other SmartCash wallets, but you will be able to do it through any wallet out there, and we will have tools available that let you look at addresses to see what kind of reward each of the inputs in the address are getting. Now, related to smart nodes, though, is kind of a good news thing. The smart nodes are going to have what we call the SmartCash API or SAPI enabled on them. This will require in the future that smart nodes have port 8080 open to access the SmartCash API. And what this does is allow things like our web wallet and our mobile wallets and explorers and any number of other things to access our decentralized network of smart nodes to perform network operations such as sending transactions, looking up addresses. You can build an explorer based on the smart node API now, any number of things. So this is going to be a pretty cool thing. We were originally planning on putting this in super nodes, but it turns out that we were able to make it a little bit more efficient, a little easier, less memory needs, and get it running on smart nodes pretty easily. So we're quite happy that we'll be able to do this. So we'll have more decentralized infrastructure. The web wallet will no longer be require any sort of centralized backend. It'll all be decentralized. There'll be able to be more decentralized tools built on using the Smart API to send and sign transactions based on our smart node network. The smart card will be using the Smart API. It'll work out very well, I think. It's pretty exciting that we're going to have this network of decentralized user-run nodes that are incentivized all around the world that can be used for this kind of thing, which makes the network much more censorship resistant and gives people a lot more cool and fun tools to play with. A few other little things, like we're making a new address format that'll make it easier for exchanges to add us, and a bunch of other clean up stuff in the background that just make the network more resilient, more stable, better able to handle all the transactions to fill up those 8 meg blocks I talked about earlier. And that covers most of the big changes I wanted to talk about today. Of course, all these changes are subject to change as our testing and coders finalize all their things. There's always possibility that we'll need to add something else in there or need to push something back based on testing results. The most important thing for us is that our network is stable. We want to have as few hard forks as possible so people can just spin up their smart nodes and not worry about updating every month or two. We don't want to have people falling off the network simply because they haven't updated for a month. So we want to have things easy for our merchant networks and our partners that use SmartCash for things like the ATM network or the websites that use SmartCash allow for easy withdrawal. We don't want them to have any issues at all having to update all the time. The important thing for the usage bit is that the network be as stable as possible, which is why we've tried to squeeze as many big network changing things into a single update as possible, and we're not spinning out updates every few months. So we hope that you're excited to hear about this, and I'm sure I'll be back to talk more about 1.3 as we move forward. But that should just about cover it for tonight. So we hope that you are all having a smart time out there, and as usual, stay smart. This was Chris Zafoid-Karabats with SmartTalk Radio. Check us out at smartcash.cc. Come talk to me on our Telegram or our Discord at discord.smartcash.cc. I am Zafoid, that's Z-A-P-H-O-I-D, anywhere, and hit me up. I hope you guys have an excellent night, and we will all talk later.